Welcome to our 2024-25 Concordia men's hockey season preview. My name is Matt Menzl, being joined by junior defenseman Noah Reutman. And you look back at the 2023-24 campaign, your thoughts on what the story was last winter?
So last year, our story basically was building on from our freshman year. Personally, our freshman year, we had 20 new guys. It's kind of a new group that we brought in. And last year was more just to build on that with the new additions we brought in with our last year's freshman class, now sophomores. But last year we had our ups and downs, but I feel like we made steps in the right direction at the right times.
And no question, you go from your freshman year to your sophomore year, able to double the win production. How about for you personally? How do you feel like you changed or improved from one year to the next?
I think learning how to adapt to the college game definitely took the right steps. Personally, and I think as a group as well, we did a great job moving in the right direction of learning how to play the college style as well as being a college athlete.
So knowing what to expect after your first couple of years, did you prepare any differently now for this your junior season?
So this summer I trained with my trainer back home, Ozzy White at ETS Sports Performance. We did a lot of more explosive, dynamic stuff. And as a group as well, we emphasized throughout our off-season training in the spring of last year to be more explosive and fast as well in our movements and our workouts.
As we mentioned, you look back at last season, and the team got better as the season progressed and started to see more consistency out of this squad. What's the vibe now here in training camp for the guys that are back?
I think the vibe is we're pretty ecstatic to be back. We got a good group. We still have here a good core group that we have of our sophomores, juniors, and some seniors that we brought in, with even a grad transfer goalie, Will Oliver. But I think the new freshman class that we brought in this year is really good, and we're excited for the whole group to come together. And we've been doing a lot of team bonding and coming closer as a group as well right away.
So overall, do you like what you're seeing in training camp?
Yes, I do a lot. I feel like I'm able to trust my guys a lot more. I think we're building a lot of trust with their group, and I think we're excited to get started right away, especially next weekend.
And you mentioned when you look at this roster, the breakdown, half the roster is of upper class status, the other half, still a freshman and sophomore status. But how are the newcomers fitting in?
Newcomers are fitting in well. They're as soon as they've been on campus, we've been bonding together. We've been in the dorms, hanging out with them, and just whether it's doing team events like our team cook-off we've done this year, and either we went to the St. Louis Blues Chicago Blackhawks game at the Pfizer's, and just coming together as a group, and it's been good to acclimate them and get them up to pace for the college level.
Let me make sure I heard you correctly. You said team cook-off? Tell us about that.
So we had a team cook-off. So we split into groups of 4. So basically, it's good. It's a good team bonding. So we usually split up in our groups. Coach Massa does a really good job of putting our groups together of guys that don't usually live with each other, don't usually hang out with each other. And you go to somebody's house or apartment, and you basically have a dish that you choose to cook. And we had some interesting dishes, but at the end, we come back at night, and we, Coach Masso, Coach Dieball, they did a good job of rating them and ranking them. So if you want to see the video, it's on our Instagram page.
So what was your go-to dish?
So my go-to dish, since I'm like Russian, Ukrainian, I suggested we do pierogies and kielbasa. So it was like a Polish kielbasa, so it was good.
Very nice. From a team chemistry standpoint, is this maybe the best or the closest this group has been in your time?
I think it is. I think we've got our core juniors and our seniors, and our sophomores are really doing a great job with our freshmen right now too, and we're all starting to come together. We're all starting to hang out here at school, whether it's guys coming from the apartments or the houses, and hanging out and having a purpose to be with each other.
And you're one of those now 16 upperclassmen of junior status. Does your role change a great deal now?
I wouldn't say too much. We all came from our backgrounds in junior hockey with being leaders, and I think it's, as a group, we're all leaders as well. I think that my role really isn't much changed, but it's more so personally this year I'm trying to find a way to get the freshmen acclimated as quickly as possible, whether it's on the ice or it's in the classroom especially.
Now, obviously, this may be tough to answer, having not played an actual game at this moment, but I guess on paper, what you've seen in training camp, what do you think, at least early on, might be a strength or a strengths of this team?
I think a big strength that we emphasized this preseason before our training camp was conditioning and getting into shape right away, and getting the upper edge on teams, especially at the start of the year, as well as we emphasize in practice, and we're emphasizing right now is finishing odd man battles and 2-on-1s, 3-on-2s, so we can capitalize those early, because those come really frequently throughout the start of the year. So we want to get ahead of starting the year off with Concordia and Moorhead.
Finally, for you, what personal goals do you have for yourself this season?
I really don't have too much personal goals. I think it's more of a team, and I think we are all, the goal is to win conference, obviously, and Our goal is to build from last year, especially with our 8 wins. But I think to get over the 10 to 15 win mark is a good goal to set. But I think competing at a playoffs and be able to maybe possibly make it around the NCAA tournament, because I think this is a great year for us to possibly make a run at it.
Well, Noah, all the best to you and your teammates this season.
Thank you very much. Thanks for having me.
Now being joined by the head coach, Jim Menzl, back for season number 3, and you look from year 1 to year 2. You like to obviously you like to win more, but you like the progress you're seeing from this program.
Yeah, absolutely. In all ways, right now we're bigger, faster, stronger, smarter, but most importantly, we've really gotten the culture where we wanted. There's a really strong brotherhood in that locker room. The guys are exceptionally hardworking. They hold each other accountable. They have dreams of doing big things, and they're on a path to get there. And like I said, the family, the brotherhood, the culture is at a level that I've seen rarely on the teams I've coached in the past.
Yeah, we talked with Noah, and he talked about the off-the-ice bonding and the cook-offs and other activities. So as you kind of just said, would you consider this being maybe the best chemistry you've had so far in your time here?
Absolutely. It's not even close. And it's been building year after year. We've done a good job of not just recruiting good hockey players, but good people. It's one of the first things we look at. We recruit families, not just the player. And we're recruiting people with the right values as well as talent. So it's come so far. We're exceptionally proud. We're starting to become a dangerous team that I think teams are not going to want to play against. That should lead to more wins than in years prior as well. And we're just really happy with where we're at today.
How about back on the ice? What expectations do you have for those that are coming back from maybe year 1, year 2?
Yeah, we put a lot of focus on development, structure, and the guys that are coming back have made significant strides year after year. So we do have a lot of returners that have again stepped up to another level. We also have some young guys, some freshmen that have shown to be ready right off the hop, and they don't really need much of an adjustment period. They're ready to step in and be impact guys right away too. So I think we have a really good mix now of a veteran presence with good young players. 2 years ago when I first got here, it was a team full of freshmen that weren't necessarily ready. So we've made tremendous strides in all areas.
Hey, you look at your roster, half of it is of upper class status. On top of the fact you've added a handful of new players, does that help with the learning curve as far as just how you go about approaching training camp and maybe just getting going right from the get-go?
Yeah, absolutely. I think one of the best attributes we have or tools as a coach is to have, older guys that have been around before, been through, know our coaching style, know our drills, know our systems. So when they start a drill off, they demonstrate it properly. Whereas year 1, we're teaching everybody everything from A to Z. So to have a good role model who does things correctly before you go do it after is huge for the underclassmen this year.
Some of the players I want to highlight, one is Alex Ochitwa. You looked last year, led the way as a freshman with 11 goals, 10 assists. So what do you see from Alex now in year number 2?
Yeah, I think it took him about half a year to get the confidence to dominate this level. He was an exceptional player in juniors. It took him about half a season to kind of figure this out, and then he came on strong at the end. We are looking for him to lead the way immediately and just be a dominant threat in our conference from game 1. He has so much poise and composure. He's so smart. He's just a little guy, but he finds a way to get the job done. He's gritty, and he's a tremendous player to have up front.
Derek Humphreys proved he could be a scorer. You look last season, he was able to come through in a big way. So what do you expect now in year number 3 from him?
Yeah, he's totally rounded his game. What's nice right now is we have a handful of really good players, so we can match different chemistry. We can have different scoring lines. I don't know if Derek and Alex are going to be on the same line. Splitting them up kind of gives us a threat on multiple lines at this point. But Derek is probably our best skater. He has one of the best one-timers on the team, so he's a threat to skate. He's a threat to shoot. He's got good vision. So he's become maybe arguably our all-around best player right now.
You look at a guy like Riley Klugerman, who all of a sudden, sneaky with the 18 assists last year. So, again, what steps do you hope he takes now in his second go-around?
Yeah, he's one of the most creative players in the conference. He was an exceptional passer. In the offseason and preseason, we've been trying to work on his shooting ability a little bit more. His shot has gotten a lot better. So we're trying to build triple threats in our players, not just guys that are good at one thing. I think he's one of the most brilliant minds in the locker room in terms of creating plays. So I would like to see him get more goals this year rather than just be an assist guy. But he's creative. He works really well with Alex. He's a great power play guy, and he really adds to the offense part of our game. We are definitely working with him on the defensive part as it's just important, but he's a difference maker offensively.
Obviously, those three names mentioned stand out when you look at the stat sheet from last year, but who are some maybe the other guys that have stood out to you here so far in training camp?
Yeah, I think we've gotten better in all phases. Our goaltending crew is exceptional. I think we will not have a problem with goaltending. We have maybe arguably too much good goaltending, where sometimes we don't know who to choose. Rosick will get the first start as he's been one of the best goalies in the country in the last couple of years. But we have young Cam Hrdalika who's coming up, who is probably going to be the future of the program. We've got Blake Hazelton who's returning, who did well last year, and he's a challenger. And then we got a grad student, Will Oliver, who was the starting goalie at Wentworth for 2 years before he came here. So we have a really good mix in goaltending. On defense, we brought in Jack Gouvenal, who's an exceptional power play, puck-moving, offensive-minded defenseman. So he will help a ton. Up front, we brought in Connor Van Wheely. He was one of the best players in his league in junior hockey. He will probably start with Alex Ochitwa and Riley Klugerman. He adds some size and toughness, as well as the speed and creativity of those other two. But I think so far he's been a good balance for those two guys.
So it sounded like depth is going to be a big strength.
Absolutely. I mean, we are at the point where we have the right guys in the locker room at this point. Now it's just about developing, but on any given day, we can have guys get hurt or guys come out and other guys come in, and we are a similar strength of a team, So building a locker room of guys that compete with each other and can battle for positions and make the other guys work harder, that's really what's been our biggest strength as a team, is being able to push each other and to make each other get better, not just recruiting good talent, but having the locker room, creating a competitive mindset in practice. We've turned into a really good development team right now.
Outside of building that culture, where do you see, obviously not having played a game, this might be a difficult question to answer, but is there an area you say, boy, we can be really strong here?
Yeah, I think we really focused on building our overall game. But for us, we're aiming to get over 500 this year. Obviously, with 4 teams in our conference that are almost always ranked in the nation, that's, we're trying to get on the verge of being ranked in the nation, So what comes with that, we need to find a way to score 4 goals a game or more. We need to be better defensively and give up 2 or less. That's kind of the goal. I think we've made strides in all areas of offense, defense, and special teams. So yeah, I mean, we're working on the whole package, not necessarily one area, but I do think we've made strides in each category.
Finally, when you look at your schedule and you've built that non-conference slate outside of this exhibition game coming up, how do you approach the non-conference? What are you looking for in non-conference to help prepare you for conference play?
Yeah, I think the most important thing for now is we have the tools to win. Whereas before we were in a development mindset, we were the underdog in almost every barn we've gone into. And now for the first time, I think on paper, we are just as good or better than most of the teams will play. So for us, we need to create a winning mindset. And that doesn't happen until you start winning more games than you lose. So for us, the goal is to get over 500. Develop a mindset that no matter what rink we go into on any night, we have the tools to win. And then when you win enough and the things go well, you execute and accomplish enough small goals, you start executing and accomplishing big goals as well. So we'll start, one game at a time, but our out-of-conference coach, Nate, has done an excellent job preparing us for the season. He did the scheduling. We have the right opponents. They're challenging, but guys that, we are right head and shoulders, we're right with. So they're good matchups that we can come out strong and get the ball rolling before we head into conference play.
Can't wait, Coach. As always, thanks a lot for your time. Best of luck this winter.
Thank you very much.
And again, the regular season will officially start from the Ozaki Ice Center November 1st and 2nd. Concordia Moorhead, the opponent, the Concordia Cup. Stay tuned to CUWFalcons.com for more information.